Hi, Latryce. Thank you
Hello.
for coming to my show, Real People, Real Careers. It's a platform with candidate from the heart conversation. And I saw you painting at David's birthday party, and I was fascinated. And I was like, I need to get to know this woman. And, here I am, and you have a very
I was
authentic.
fascinated. Yeah, no, I was fascinated. That's why I was like, she looks like a Barbie
Thank
doll.
you.
Like, I'm attracted to anybody that, I mean, you see my energy. So I'm
I
like,
do.
that's yeah. So
Exactly.
same.
Birds of the feather,
Right, exactly. Flock
they
together
flock
for
together.
sure.
So, Latrice, I've always have these questions put that together. To tell me, who is Latrice? Where you were born? Go back a little bit, before we
Hmm.
deep dive in your career, and who made you who you are today?
Yeah. So I was born in San Diego, California. And around 3 years old, I moved to Michigan with my father. Him and my grandmother came to California to get me, and I've been with them ever since. And so Benton Harbor, Michigan is this little bitty small
Mm-hmm.
town. Um, when I was growing up, very, very poor. They call it the Twin Cities.
Okay.
Across the bridge, you'll have St. Joseph, Michigan, and then you'll have Benton Harbor, Michigan. And then right in between, you have what you call like Fairplain, which is kind of like the middle grounds
Mm-hmm.
that leads, that connects the two. And so St. Joseph, predominantly white, upper class,
Absolutely.
well off. And then you have Benton Harbor, Michigan, predominantly black. And I think, the average income was probably like $13,000 when I
Oh, yeah,
left.
it
Yeah,
is.
it's so different now. It's so different. It's beautiful. It's always been beautiful, right on the water. And so I grew up on the water. My dad had jet skis, we had a boat. I'm a water baby. So,
Nice.
it was great. So it was like the balance of the two, like being on the water. And I consume myself with that. A lot of
Nice.
people from my hometown, they only see the negative, and I'm like, we're on the water. Like that's all I saw. And so yeah, that was my childhood. I went to for my high school years, I was actually homeschooled, or
Homeschooled.
not necessarily homeschooled.
That's really nice too. Absolutely.
My uncle has a church, and he started a church
I
school.
get it.
I would say the programming was like homeschool
I get
based
it.
curriculum. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I grew up. I got engaged really young,
Mm-hmm.
and after that engagement, I feel like I fled to Atlanta just to be
Okay.
dramatic, just for the
Yes.
dramatics. But I fled to Atlanta, and this is my home. This is my home.
Atlanta's your home.
Atlanta's my home
So,
for sure.
so
Okay,
tell me,
yeah.
how did you start your career and who you are today?
So I've been an entrepreneur my entire life. I started in the hair business.
Nice.
Always been into beauty, fashion, makeup, all the glamour.
Now I see where it
Since
comes from. Okay.
since my grandmother says since I was like 3 years old, I was into fashion, doing fashion shows. So in high school, I was doing hair, braiding hair, making money there. I started my first business at 18, which was an eco-friendly t-shirt line,
Nice.
Posh and Ritzy, which was really cool. I hosted a fashion show. I mean, I was 18 years old, hosted a huge, beautiful fashion show also. We had a red carpet. I don't know how I pulled that off at 18 years old,
There's
but
always so much creativity
yeah,
and courage at that
right.
age,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yes.
Opened a hair salon at 22.
Wow.
So I've always been an entrepreneur. It wasn't until after I had Oliver, my son, 10 years ago, that I started painting just as a hobby. But before that, I had launched Crowns of Love, which is my nonprofit organization. We donate wigs to cancer patients
Yes, you told me
and
about
sell
that.
hair extensions as well. Yes, to be able to donate these wigs. Um, so that's a passion project of mine. That because since I'm not doing hair anymore, that's still kind of my way of keeping my hand in it, but then also really helping people and helping women. That's a different type of need. When you want to
Absolutely.
get
And we're
your
going to
hair
talk about
done,
it too. Absolutely. It's so
yeah,
important.
right, yeah. When you want to feel beautiful, but then when it's stripped away from you, that's a different type of, so to be able to show up, that means a lot to me.
Absolutely.
And then the painting just came naturally. I don't know how I know how to do any of this. Even when I finish my works, I'm just like, did I do this? I could never recreate this because I don't know how I did it in the first place. So it's for sure an intuitive gift that just flows out of me. That God, it's a God-given gift, yeah, for sure. So
Tell
yeah.
me about your career with painting and what is your everyday looks like,
Yeah.
and where are you hosting your art exhibitions and where you
Yeah.
are at this point of
I
time?
actually just hosted my first exhibition, which I did on my own. And I don't know that that's traditionally normal for artists. I think they usually like partner with galleries
Absolutely.
or curators. But I had my own full body of work. And I mean, I'm a visual person. I was like, I think I can do this on my own. So I just hosted my own show, which was really beautiful. It was really, really beautiful. It was a dream come true, actually. The energy in the room, the building itself, because I did it at the Candler Hotel, which is
Nice.
gorgeous and just
Absolutely.
all marble and very decadent. It's my like, this is what I want my house to look like. So I had it there. So it was just stunning. But every day looks totally different for me. As a mom, that comes with, a lot of unpredictability. And then I would say, as an artist, it's very hard for me to like stick to a schedule.
Yes.
So I'm routine in my like first half of the morning. I can get up, I'll go work out, I'll do my things, I get ready, I have my tea, I'm gonna read, I'm gonna journal. But then am I going to do research? Am I going to start painting? Am I going to work on Crowns of Love? It kind of just varies because when I work, I am drawn to the canvas.
Absolutely.
So
Then you can't stop.
every day, exactly. And then I'll get lost for hours and I don't
Yes.
eat, I don't look at my phone, I don't, so it just depends. But those are my happiest days when I can just focus on my art and just really zone out.
And that's very therapeutic, actually. They say if you're going from stress or depression, any kind of, start painting, start drawing, because it's just going to,
Absolutely.
Focus your mind on something which you're creating.
No, absolutely. I actually hosted some art therapy classes that were beautiful. We did, it was about 10, each session was about 10 to 12 people. We would sit in a circle. Everybody would have a palette that I would choose certain colors for different reasons. Say we chose blue because I wanted everybody to feel calm that day. And I would start a conversation about, maybe something that's happening in the world or a specific thing. And then we would just kind of like paint, listen to music, and have conversation. And people would cry. People started telling like their secrets, and we just like created
A
such a,
sisterhood
yeah,
and a
yeah. And
therapy.
guys came
Guys
too.
came
Guys
too.
came
Okay,
too.
nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Guys need that.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
still
no, it's
touch with
very
our
relaxing.
emotionality and our
Yeah,
softness and
exactly.
everything, but
Right.
guys just like and put it under the rug all the time.
Yeah, and then everybody feels like, oh, I can't paint. I'm not an artist, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how to do it, or they're intimidated. So it's also a way to dabble into it with no pressure.
Absolutely.
Because I don't do, when you go to a sip and paint, they say, like, let's paint these flowers. Mine is free flow. You do whatever you want. So at the end, you'll see a photo of all of us holding up these canvas. Everyone's is particular to their own energy in my eyes, but all in the same color palette. So it's very beautiful. Yeah,
Yes, there's a
yeah,
lot you do with art,
yeah,
actually.
yeah. Yes, and then I also have Atlanta's Art Club for Kids, which is a meetup club. We go and do different experiences throughout the city. Our first meetup was the Giants exhibition with Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys. That was fabulous. That kind of kicked us off. And then we do the Nutcracker every December. The kids dress up. Last year we had a charter bus. We had private breakfast. We had a pre-show talkback from Atlanta Ballet, even
Nice.
private. They let us sit in on a rehearsal. So yeah, introducing art to people
It's so
because
important.
it was healing for me. It was a savior in a sense after I had my son. That's why I started from postpartum depression.
Okay.
So yeah, it's literally a medicine.
No, we're going to talk about postpartum depression. You said, tell me about postpartum depression.
So I was in a fortunate situation where I didn't have to work, thank God. So I was able to just be a full-time mom. But I think there's a little danger in that when you don't have any other outlets.
Exactly.
And so my entire existence, and I'm a creative person, but my entire existence was breakfast, lunch, dinner for my baby and my husband or my partner at the time. And, my body changed. And I remember a couple of weeks after I had Oliver, I remember looking at him and I was just like, what did I do? Like, did I actually just bring a human into to this world? Like, I remember, and I think that's when it kicked in. Like, a couple weeks after, I was like, oh my God. But it was never out of control. Like, absolutely. I absolutely love being a mom.
Absolutely. That's something, but that is something which a lot of women go through and people don't talk about it.
Right.
And a lot of time women don't know they're going through that. So it's really important to get help.
Yeah.
Of some sort.
We don't talk about it. Like you said, it's not discussed because I wasn't prepared. No one really told me, hey, this may happen after you have it. You may not like your partner anymore. You may, lose yourself. But like I said, fortunately, my entire life, I've always just wanted to be a mom and a wife. And so I'm creative. And so I'm always, can think of a business idea like this. But that was really what I wanted to do. So I was really into that role 100%.
And then you manage your postpartum with, that's how the paintings opened up for you because you wanted to put your creative something and release all that stress and depression, anxiety into that. And it flowed over there. Awesome.
My very first painting sold. My very first painting.
Sold.
I didn't try to sell it. I just put it on my wall. And one of my friends was like, can I buy this painting from you? And I was like, of course, of course, whatever. She still has the painting framed and everything.
And that's how your journey started.
It didn't.
Sometimes we don't even know where our life purpose will take us.
I didn't think at that time that I could do it as a career. It wasn't until 8 years later. I just kept doing it as a hobby. It was never something that I looked to monetize. It was just, I thought people were crazy, but they would come over. It's like, you should be in Art Basel. Your work is so good. And I'm like, I'm just scribbling.
If you remind me of a friend,
canvas.
She is a PhD in psychology. And she's one of my closest friends. Her name is Kinzan Najam. And all of a sudden, being PhD in psychology and doing training programs at Bloomingdale University, she moved to art. And now she's in Art Basel's. And she's a really big, she's a really upcoming artist. And
I love it.
And now I see her painting and I was like, how did it all happen? Yeah. She left her entire career, a really high career and just went into art. She started from scratch again. Yeah. And that was impressive.
Yeah. I mean,
and this is impressive too.
It feels so good.
When it comes, it comes.
It feels so good.
It feels so good. And that's what MasMas is for me. Good. It's the art which I create.
Yes.
Through people.
Yeah.
And it's my canvas.
Yes. People are art. You're art. Look at you. You look like you should be in a magazine. I'm actually going to get my camera before you leave and take a picture of
Thank you. Absolutely. Really
okay.
MasMas is also for me to give back to the world, and so tell me about Crown of Love.
Yeah. So, like I said, I've been doing hair all of my life, but I didn't feel like it was enough. So I'm always like, I can do it, but that's not all to me. I want to do other things. And my family has always been like, hair is your gift. Do hair, do hair, do hair. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing hair. I'm going to do something else, but it always finds me.
Absolutely.
It's one of those things that always finds me. And even whenever I'm thinking like, do I want to continue with Crowns of Love? Is it actually making an impact? I always get a confirmation that I have to do it. It is my, legacy work. But I started that organization with my co-founder, Hope, and her mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so she called me. She was actually filming for a show, and I was making a wig for her. And she called me and told me that her mom had got diagnosed with breast cancer and asked if I could make a wig for her. And
That's so hard.
Yeah, while I was working on the wig, it was like I had an epiphany, and I just was like, whoa, how many people, I never thought about cancer patients in that
Absolutely.
regard. I was never thinking about them losing their hair and how much it means to me. So how much it would mean to another woman. And so it just hit me. And I thought, I'm sure there's a need for this. And there was. We reached out to one girl that I found online, Shelly. She still works with us. She's so sweet. She was telling her story. She was very vocal, and I asked her if I could send her a wig, and so it happened from there. Her brother ended up being a videographer, and so she did a full like little video on us, a review, and from there we just started getting requests from women all over the country because I believe she posted in a Facebook support group, and it's been going nonstop ever since then.
That's a
People
beautiful.
all over, and it's weird because I'm not even planted in Atlanta as much as I would like to be. We literally ship wigs to women all over.
And obviously, when you're going through cancer and at the same time you're losing your hair, it's like it's super depressive for women, especially.
Oh
So
yeah,
then that little thing at least makes them feel like I'm beautiful.
right,
Yes,
absolutely.
absolutely.
It's funny because obviously they're going through so many different things and so many different things that they have to worry about. You would think that hair is, it's superficial, but that's usually one of their
Oh
biggest
my God.
concerns
Yes,
is everyone will know that I'm sick because you can see it. If
exactly.
you can mask it, you can walk
And then
outside and
everybody
still
doesn't look well with
appear
a nice scarf. Some people look great,
right.
but some people can't carry it. So they need a little bit
Yeah,
of they need
yeah,
hair back on their head.
yeah,
Yes. And it makes
absolutely.
them feel normal. And yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And you
Some
put a
people
little bit of
have
lipstick and you have a
weddings.
nice hair,
Yeah.
you're set for the day.
Yeah. We've sent wigs for people's weddings, just because they have cancer don't mean that their life stopped. They still have, all types of things, graduations and stuff like that. So yeah, they want to have those memories from those important dates and not be reminded of that
Yes.
sickness.
That is very heartful. I don't
So
think
yeah.
AI will be able to take your job at this point.
Never. I am not worried about AI. People
You
ask
make
that all the
wigs
time.
actually, and you actually paint, so you're like, you are cushioned pretty well.
And I mean, the heart and the soul that is required to
To connect with,
go
yes.
into things. I'm an empath, so I think that's why I can do the work that I do because I feel everything that I do is feeling based. And people say, don't trust your emotions, don't follow your feelings, and I think the quite opposite. I think that that's a compass. You have to know how to control your reactions, but your emotions and your feelings show you
Mhm.
what feels good, what doesn't feel good, what's alarming, what's safe. Like
I agree.
it's a guide. And so everything that I do kind of flows from my heart. And AI doesn't have that. So not worried.
It's very similar. A lot of time I also work with my heart. And when
Yeah.
I do things when I feel like, and plus I'm more on the corporate, I have a corporate head as well because I was a corporate kid at GE. When I'm making a decision and I feel my head and my heart align,
Yeah.
that is a perfect balance for me. But a lot of
Absolutely.
time, where my heart is saying something and mind's putting doubts and doubts and doubts. That's what mind does, right?
Yes.
Always says,
Yes.
it's not going to happen. You can do this. This is going to become this. And then I tell my mind, stop.
Right. Yeah.
And then stillness comes in. I breathe and I listen to my deep self. Deep brings deep.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that's when the heart talks back to me. So I work with my heart a lot.
I love that. I love
Yes.
that. And I do the same. As of recently, I have I've been actually sharing this with a lot of people, but I'm programming myself to be totally different. So whenever I hear doubtful thoughts come in, I'm like, oh, that's a typical Tryce thought. Like, but how does the new Tryce think? Right? So when that doubt creeps in, oh, this isn't going to work out or you're not going to get accepted into this, like typical, like that girl doesn't exist anymore. Like this girl, only good things happen for her. You
Absolutely.
have to correct yourself. And then you get in that frequency where everything is working out, everything
Exactly.
is
Everyone
lining
falls
up,
in
and
your
you become a magnet.
magnet. And,
Yes,
this is got like the same thing which we hear about manifestation and
absolutely.
believe in something and
Yeah.
faith.
Yes.
So that all stems. But a lot of time in the way the world's going and with this technology, people are not understanding their heart. They're not listening to the heart. That's why there's so much trauma. There's so much, people are walking with open wounds because their mind is continuously overpowering their entire self and they have no space for this.
What's so funny? So I told you I had friends over last night. That was one of the conversations about
I should have been
AI.
there.
Listen, I'm inviting you the next time.
Absolutely.
Yes. We had a conversation about AI, and I was telling them, I said, everybody's worried about if AI will turn against us, but I think it will be us that makes AI turn against us
I agree.
because I saw this guy, he just got one of the robots in his house. This was on Instagram. I don't know who this person is, but he got one of the robots in his house and he was like yelling at it, go clean up, go, abusing it. And I'm thinking to myself, this kind of behavior, if you're not a healed human and you are literally spewing negative energy, everything is energy, everything is
We are energy
alive,
too.
right?
We are breathing. We are energy. The day we stop breathing, our energy is gone. We're gone.
So if you're saying negative things to
AI.
this AI, eventually it's going to start to build up a resistance against you. So I think if AI turns against us, it will be because we did it, self-inflicted. Like that's
Very
kind of my
deep.
perspective anyway.
Very deep. I
Yeah.
did not think about that actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we can treat it with love and kindness and work with it as a partner and respect it. I mean, and I have to be honest, sometimes I'll tell Chat GPT, like, I did not ask you that, you know? But I do still, like to show it respect, right? And I think that we have to make sure that we are respecting it as an entity because it is.
And we're also in a process of creating something which will be smarter than human beings because as you see the history of the world, there has been nothing which has been smarter than our mind or heart. Right. But now we are creating something which is going to be even smarter and we can't catch it.
Yeah. And I think we're already too late. I think that train is.
Hope so not.
Yeah. I just say, like, let's work with AI.
Let's work with AI.
Let's love it. Let's show it love. Let's
create alignment. Let's create good synergies and let's work together with it at the same time. Yeah. Tell me, before you leave this world, what legacy would you like to leave behind?
I love that question. Mm-hmm. This was something that I really came to terms with the week of my exhibition with Redemption. Because prior to that, I was fasting, and up until the week of, I've been working on various different pieces, and a lot of them have very heavy topics or stories or background meanings connected to the history of African American people, maybe abuse from domestic violence, whatever the case may be. And so I have, a lot of depth in my work, and I had to ask myself, I want to talk about these things and I want to bring awareness, but with art being energy, what energy do I want people to feel when they see my work? And so that was such a transformative moment right up until my exhibition, because I have a piece that I'm working on now, and the story is dark behind it, and I wanted to include it in my show. My best friend Sydney was here, and we were pricing my art, and that piece was in the living room. And as we're moving stuff around, I took it out. And when I took it out, the energy in the room shifted. Wow. Both of us felt it. And it shocked me. And I was like, wow, if this energy brought that darkness into my room, and when I took it out, do I want someone to have this in their house and feel that and say that this is a Tryce Marie? No. And so right before my show, I brightened up all of my dark pieces. So while the stories are still there, I had to add so much color and light because what I want people to feel about me and my legacy is that I made them feel good. Like that's really what I want to leave behind. I want to make people feel good. I want people to feel inspired and feel like they can believe in themselves and really my message to the world, to my son, to my future grandchildren is self development, really figuring out who you are, figuring out who your gifts are, who God created you to be. We are all like magical toolboxes, in my opinion.
Beautiful.
Even our negative, quote unquote, negative traits that people would say, like, oh, this is your shadow side. It's not. We need those traits. They protect us, they're there for a reason. Everything is God given. And so learning how to use all of your gifts and all of your abilities to navigate this world in the best possible way to where you are of service to humanity and to your community and making people feel good. I think that's the walk of Jesus. And I think that's
Yes, I
what
love that.
I think that's what he was about. Love your neighbor as yourself. And I
Yes.
think if we applied that one principle, we wouldn't even have wars. We wouldn't have so much hate happening in the world because if I love you as my brother or my neighbor, then why would I kill you? Why would I hurt you? Why would I harm you? Why would I steal from you? Right? So that's what I want my legacy to be is, this world doesn't have to be the way that it's been. We can choose to live a different way. We can choose to live in peace. Um, and, and that's what I want to represent.
That's beauty. That is beauty. So
Yeah.
you did touch on this topic, but I still want to, get your head out there. What advice would you give to your son, to your younger self, to the younger generations? Because we were born without iPhones and computer at that time, so we have a lot of development. At the same time, we're saying AI. So what advice would you like to give?
I would give the advice that I give to my son and the advice that I would have given to my younger self is to experiment. Um, this life is so vast, and I think that it's so common to get stuck in one lane or one avenue and to say, let's say you want to be a doctor and that's it. You want to be a doctor, so you focus all your energy on that, but then you don't realize that you have, like you said, your friend, she just became an artist, right?
Yes, I call faces of a person to, faces of
Yes,
a,
yes, to experiment because, like I said, we're toolboxes,
you're just
and
not one doctor.
You're not just
You could be a mom, you could be a great cook, you could be a dancer, you could be a singer, like
all the things. I know. I was telling my friends because I don't post as much as I should on social media. But I have my phone. I was like, I'm Martha Stewart in my phone. I have cooking. I have all the things. I'm painting. I have interior design.
I want to see that faces, different faces of
all the things. But yeah, experiment and, like I said, self development,
Yes.
self mastery is so key.
How do you do self mastery and self development? How did you do?
I was very intentional. I've been on a very intentional,
Journey.
I say spiritual journey because I do feel like everything that I do is more, people don't know that I have a strong prayer life. Like I'm very centered. I grew up in church.
Absolutely.
And then I am also a bit of a rebel and very opinionated. And so I have my philosophies and my thoughts on, certain things or whatever the case may be, but I have respect for all religions. I think that they're all wonderful, honestly. And I think that they all are based in truth and based in this concept of wanting to explain who God is, which is so hard to do because how do you explain this vast, but I think religion is an attempt of everyone trying to explain it, right?
And religion is there, but a lot of time we do not live in our own truth. When we do not live in our own truth, we separate ourselves from the religion. Whatever religion we're practicing, irrespective of that, it is our own self-truth which we have to live with.
Yes.
And that's where we make a mistake.
That's so true. And like I said, it's like that one path type of thing where, okay, if you are, let's say you're a Christian, you have to abide by these rules or you're wrong, you know, and it's like that, not just with Christianity, but
Yeah.
most religions. But that's really
So how did you do your
graceful.
self-mastery? So you did your prayers.
I did my self-mastery.
So prayers one. Then you found art. Then you found art.
Journaling.
Then you found journaling. And then you found giving back by crowns of love.
Yes.
Then you found relationships with your son,
mother,
and with your family, and your son, and you know, your mother.
It's digging deep. I think self mastery is really digging deep and being honest, like you said.
And then you work out,
living in your truth,
and living in your truth.
Living in your truth. Calling yourself out when you're wrong. Being able to acknowledge, hey, I could have handled this better. That's how you master yourself, is by assessing. I dissect. I look at situations, and then, okay, I don't want to do this again. And so my next situation, when that experience comes up again, I'm going to handle it differently. That's how you master yourself, is actually being aware and looking at yourself. I did this. One thing that really helped me was this. It was a 40-day fast, but it wasn't a food fast. It's I think it's called Teachers of God. It's actually a biblical, so it's based out of this book called Miracles. I think it's called Miracles of God.
Okay.
Or no, A Course in Miracles, anyway. But it talks about observing yourself. So seeing yourself as this, as you say, like I, you know, so you're seeing yourself as your higher self. You're watching, like you say, you watch your thoughts. Why did you just think that? That's not a negative. So who is that higher self, right? So as your higher self, you're watching your actions. You're watching, what did you just say? What did you just do? So being conscious and aware of every action.
For 40 days?
For 40
days. So that was
days,
a fast?
Yes.
Not a physical, but like, you know,
mental.
fasting of your mental.
It was mental.
So seeing, you're the judge and you're seeing yourself as a thing and watching, okay, I could have done this better.
No gossip.
No gossip.
No negative talk. No negative doubt. No negativity. And looking at, what do I want to come into? I want to be healed. I want to be financially stable. I want to be famous, whatever the case may be. And programming yourself. But I think you have to be really intentional. If you're focused on going to the club, blah, blah, you're not focused on like, I'm really trying to elevate as a person. Not saying you can't. The two don't exist.
So then in those 40 days, you have to really be in that mode of you know, silence in a way, and a little bit of solitude. Of course, you have to work. You have to do your normal things in life. But that's, you know, that's.
But I do this type of stuff all the time. I might fast from meat. I might fast from TV, music, and just go silent. Like, so I do different things, but I'm always looking to learn more about myself. Who am I? Self-reflection. Yes.
You know, and I always say, I think there are two things. That's like, for me, I always say, like, live an opposite. So every action, there's a very opposite reaction. Yeah. And when something is happening, there is a stimulus and response. Yes. I've learned over time by my own self-reflection that when the stimulus happens, you have to give a response. We're talking, stimulus and response. But if you give a little bit more space, then your response are more thought out. Yes. Your response are more caramel. But if the stimulus happened and you put back, then your response are like out of like anxiety, a lot of like stress, a lot of fear, a lot of like, okay, you're just answering it back. But when you give a little bit of time, you're like, yeah, absolutely. The comes in. They're beautiful. I want to do that actually 40-day fast with you, girl. Yeah, no, we can do it. Okay. I felt like it was like a Jesus fast, because it was like, that's what he did. He did a 40-day fast before he kind of became, you know, Jesus. You know, so yeah. Thank you so much. It was great talking to you. Absolutely. I loved our conversation. You moved from your careers to AI to self-reflection, and I think everything evolves around self-development. Yes. You know, whether you do it in your career, whether you do it spiritually, whether you do it mentally, whether you do it physically, everything revolves around self-development. Yeah, absolutely. And living in our truth. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. You're so beautiful and graceful. Yeah. I am very, I will take this compliment. And I appreciate it.